This one is really coming from the heart with me. There are some situations when a patient in cardiac arrest has a treatable cause, they've had excellent immediate CPR, and they're showing signs of life during CPR, like purposeful movements. We need to make sure we have it within us and our teams to keep going, be able to provide excellent resuscitation while dealing with that underlying cause. Deciding to stop on a single data point, like a blood gas, is crazy when you've got someone alive in there and the means of treating them. And sometimes all it takes to do something amazing is to speak up. And that's what I'm talking about here. It's an excerpt from a longer talk, and there's a link to that one in the description. But stay with me on this one. This is everything.
The second case is an 11-year-old with a Fontan circulation. If you don't know what that is, he's had some surgery for congenital cardiac disease that essentially leaves him with one functioning ventricle, but it's compatible with a good life. He's 11. He's at school. He faints at school, so gets taken to hospital. He's awake on arrival to hospital, but then arrests. Some very good CPR, very good teamwork goes on. They conclude this child may need ECMO. They call the receiving center, that again is a long flight away. The ECMO center says, or the surgeon there says, we don't believe patients with this type of circulation are salvageable once they arrest, and we're not going to take this patient. Please discontinue CPR. The team leader says to the 22 people in the resuscitation team, we need to stop, they're not going to do anything. Is everyone happy to stop? One guy, the retrieval guy, puts his hand up and says, we cannot stop, please don't stop. And the reason for that, this child had reactive pupils, he had a good end-tidal CO2, he was moving, he was going for his tube, even though he was in cardiac arrest. He had this aliveness, these signs of life. This guy just could not stop, racked his brains and remembered reading something somewhere that patients with Fontan circulations have a sluggish circulation. They're very prone to venous thromboembolic disease. He said, just maybe they respond to thrombolytics. Can we try that first? And then we'll stop. And they went, okay. So they gave him intravenous thrombolytics. 15 minutes later, he had return of spontaneous circulation. He was hemodynamically stable on arrival at the receiving center. A few days later, he was seen by my colleague playing with other children on the pediatric ward. So those are two interesting human factors side to things. I mean, it's high-tech medicine, but it's those individual decisions that are making this permanent and devastating result for one of those families. In the first case, the whole system was geared towards saving that child, but the individuals who owned the machine said no. On the second case, everyone was ready to pull out, except for one guy who put his hand up and said, please don't stop, let's just try one more thing. So, I was given this talk, when to stop resuscitation. Sorry about that. I have told you when to stop resuscitation. I've given you those pointers, patient doesn't want it, there's nothing else you can do, etc., etc. All right, but I've also tried to explain and give examples of when it's so difficult to make that call. And I have essentially turned this into a when not to stop resuscitation talk. And the reason for that is simply this. Life is precious. You are incredible. If you think about the amazing improbability of your existence. So random sperm and random eggs have come together on random rainy nights so many times. Over so many generations, 185 million generations going back 500 million years to when your ancestors were fish. And then if you think about it beyond that, 13.8 billion years of universal evolution and physics and time and chance to create you, who are amazing, incredible, complex examples of biological beauty. Even Min Lakong. But then some muppet can go and snuff it all out with an ignorant and lazy decision on a blood gas. And your job is not to let that happen. Your job is to go back to your emergency departments and your ambulance services, your operating theaters, your intensive care units, and just ask the questions, challenge your colleagues, challenge yourselves. Do we have this kit? Do we have these systems? What else can be done? That 57-year-old bloke who died with a VF on the first day of his retirement, I don't think anything else could have been done for him, but he had a 19-year-old son who was at medical school. And he's here now talking to you. And he will not cry on stage this year. And I'm determined to make a difference to these patients. I can't bring my dad back. Nothing can. But I'm damn sure we can do more for other people's dads and mums and kids and siblings and mates. Major Samantha Olsen, if you're here. Your mates. That's who we're there for. Because I think as people, the important thing about human life is it's about other people. It's about connection, and it's about love. And I think as resuscitationists, we are motivated by love. We are motivated we are motivated by love for other people. Okay? And I think it's that love for other people that makes us feel it's unacceptable not to do everything we can, not to go that extra mile, to do everything we can for those patients who are not ready to die. Thank you.